This video is brought to you by Locked, starring Bill Skarsgård and Anthony Hopkins in the ultimate horror thriller. Only in theaters March 21st.
Oh, Agent Starling, you think you can dissect me with this blunt little tool?
Welcome to WatchMojo, and in honor of the horror thriller Locked, starring Bill Skarsgård and Anthony Hopkins, we're pitting their iconic horror villains Pennywise the Dancing Clown and Dr. Hannibal Lecter against each other. There will be a few spoilers for the It and Hannibal movies.
Popcorn! Is that your favorite?
Uh-huh.
Mine too!
Round 1. Backstory. Underneath the ghastly makeup, Pennywise is something far more complex. An extraterrestrial entity that can take on a shape specifically tailored for its petrified prey. Of course, a creepy clown will usually do the trick, being its go-to form. Arriving in Derry, Maine, millions of years ago, the creature made its presence known with the arrival of humans, feeding on their fears.
They showed me the past. Showed me the way it appeared to them.
It then retreats into hibernation, with the cycle repeated roughly every 27 years. While its backstory sounds complicated, there's a simplicity to the creature's motivations and the universal fears it embodies. Although its true form is clouded in mystery, the deadlights provide a glimpse of this pure evil.
If you don't believe, close them and see.
While some versions of Hannibal Lecter provide deep dives into his backstory, Hopkins' tenure mainly focuses on his life post-arrest.
Good morning.
Dr. Lecter, my name is Clarice Starling. May I speak with you?
You're one of Jack Crawford's, aren't you?
I am, yes.
May I see your credentials?
When audiences first met the serial killer in The Silence of the Lambs, Lecter was already incarcerated. Yet it's clear from his manner of speech that Lecter is a brilliant psychologist with a vast understanding of the human psyche.
Oh, no. You were doing fine. You had been courteous and receptive to courtesy. You had established trust with the embarrassing truth about Miggs. And now this ham-handed segue into your questionnaire. It won't do.
He may seem civilized if it weren't for the whole cannibalism thing. Lecter's cultured charm and status in high society allowed him to elude the authorities, even working with the FBI as a consultant. As seen at the beginning of Red Dragon, only one suspected Lecter, leading to his imprisonment, temporarily.
That's the same atrocious aftershave you wore in court.
I keep getting it for Christmas.
Christmas? Yes. Did you get my card?
I got it, thank you.
When it comes to Pennywise and Lecter, the less you know, the scarier. Although we're given a fair deal of information about their origins, there's an unknown element to Pennywise that makes the clown all the more terrifying.
We'll float down here. Yes, we do.
As such, it takes this round. Winner, Pennywise. Round 2, Dynamics with the Heroes. Pennywise likes to play with our heroes before striking. Sometimes it might even strike up a friendly conversation, luring them into a false sense of security.
Do you want a balloon too, Georgie?
I'm not supposed to take stuff from strangers.
Oh, well, I'm Pennywise the Dancing Clown.
The creature will show its true colors sooner than later, however. Pennywise terrorizes each member of the Losers Club, but the clown's dynamic with Bill Denbrough feels the most personal, having killed his little brother.
But Bill, if you'll come with me, you'll float too.
To each self-proclaimed loser, though, Pennywise is the epitome of childhood trauma, which carries into adulthood. After defeating Pennywise once, the losers vow to return if it ever resurfaces. When that inevitably happens, the wounds of the past are ripped back open, having never truly healed.
We thought we stopped it back then. Or we thought it was done, but...
Mike.
A week ago, a man, Adrian Mellon, slaughtered.
Mike,
a
holy
girl,
shit.
Lisa Albrecht, was
Dude.
the other night, went missing.
All right.
There have already been others,
wanna
and
hear
there will
about
be
this.
more.
Will Graham is the FBI agent who initially put Lecter behind bars.
I need your advice, Dr. Lecter.
Birmingham and Atlanta. You want to know how he's choosing them, don't you?
I thought you'd have some ideas. I'm asking you to tell me what they are.
Why should I?
years later, Graham finds himself stuck between an incarcerated Lecter and another serial killer, the Tooth Fairy. To catch one monster, Graham turns to Lecter. The doctor walks a fine line between friend and foe, manipulating matters even when locked up.
Our scars have the power to remind us that the past was real.
The same can be said about his relationship with Clarice Starling, who's tracking down Buffalo Bill. Lecter is less threatening toward Clarice. You might say he's infatuated with her, which is equally creepy. Following the doctor's advice, Clarice catches Bill, but Lecter escapes, sending the FBI agent on another manhunt.
I do wish we could chat longer, but I'm having an old friend for dinner. Bye.
Between these two killers, Lecter's dynamics with the heroes possess deeper layers. Part of that is because he spends much of the movies talking to them behind glass. That might not sound scary, but when Hannibal Lecter is doing the talking, every word creeps up your spine like a spider.
Listen carefully. Look deep within yourself, Clarice Starling. Go seek out Miss Moffat, an old patient of mine.
Point Lecter. Winner, Hannibal Lecter.
Yeah, I'm having a rough day too.
There you go.
If Hannibal and Pennywise give you the creeps, check out Locked from producer Sam Raimi. Starring Bill Skarsgård and Anthony Hopkins, Locked is the ultimate horror thriller. Only in theaters March 21st.
What do you want?
Thou shalt not steal. That's not complicated, is it?
Round 3, Fear Factor. In addition to more conventional monsters like zombies, witches, and naturally clowns, it takes on forms with close ties to victims.
What took you so long?
I was looking for you this whole time.
I couldn't find my way out of here.
In Bill's case, it's his late brother Georgie, symbolizing the guilt that eats away at him. To that degree, it mixes psychological dread with the supernatural, making our worst fears manifest into a physical form.
Beep, beep, Richie.
It needs to frighten and kill to endure. Based on Pennywise's over-the-top antics, though, you also get the sense that it enjoys spreading misery. Thus, this isn't just about survival. The children of Derry are a banquet, and Pennywise is all too happy to feast upon them.
Tasty, tasty, beautiful fear.
In The Silence of the Lambs, Frederick Chilton describes what Lecter did to a nurse, showing Clarice a photo.
When the nurse leaned over him, he did this to her.
Although we don't see the picture, Chilton's words and the look on Clarice's face paint a grisly image in our heads. The film is a true feat of suspense, largely relying on the power of suggestion.
I'll help you catch him, Clarice.
You know who he is, don't you?
Lecter might be locked up for much of the story, yet it still feels as if he has a grasp on everybody in his orbit. He's a puppet master waiting for the precise moment to strike. When he does, Lecter lives up to his reputation, proving himself to be equally crafty and grotesque.
Prisoner's missing.
Boyle's gun is gone, Sergeant.
Repeat, Lecter's missing and armed.
The unknown will always be unnerving, but the older we get, the more we fear evil grounded in reality. In this case, that's definitely Lecter. Another point with some fava beans. Winner, Hannibal Lecter. Round 4, Methods of Killing. As Pennywise, it may lure the innocent with a goofy grin and promises of fun, eventually leaning in for a bite. Every scare is an extravagant production, although some might question why Pennywise takes its time when going straight for the kill seems more practical. The hunt is just as integral, however.
Hello, Vicky. Isn't that what your friends call you? Vicky? How did I know that? I guess I must be your friend too.
The longer a potential victim spends marinating in fear, the more gratifying and appetizing the murder will be. Pennywise can act through others as well, influencing vulnerable souls like Henry Bowers to carry out its bidding.
My knife.
The more people who believe in Pennywise, the more powerful it becomes. Like Pennywise, Hannibal Lecter brings showmanship to the murders he commits.
What is this divine-looking amuse-bouche?
If I tell you, I'm afraid you won't even try it.
killing isn't enough to satisfy his literal hunger. He prefers to eat his victims, although he doesn't just gobble up their brains like some kind of animal. Lecter will prepare them into a meal that, as much as we hate to admit it, looks appetizing, assuming you don't know the ingredients.
What's the main course?
Should never ask. Spoils the surprise.
He'll dress formally for the occasion as well. Even when making an escape with the clock ticking, Lecter relishes in the lives he takes along the way, decorating the crime scene with their bodies while listening to classical music.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Although both killers get high marks for presentation, its ability to alter shape opens the door to more creative possibilities. That's a point for Pennywise.
This isn't real enough for you, Billy. I'm not real enough for you.
Winner, Pennywise. Round 5, Performance. Bill Skarsgård had big clown shoes to fill as Pennywise, following in the footsteps of Tim Curry.
Beep, beep, Richie. Come back anytime.
Whereas Curry's Pennywise leaned more into the clown angle, Skarsgård upped the scares. That's not to say Skarsgård's Pennywise is lacking in humor. The minute the viewer hears that whimsically sinister voice, their instinct is to uncomfortably laugh in horror.
You will just leave us be. I will take him, only him, and then I will have my long rest, and you will all live to grow and thrive and lead happy lives.
We can't think of a more fitting sentiment for a killer clown. Beyond the voice, Skarsgård brings boundless energy to the role, proving emotive even when hidden under layers of makeup. Pennywise was already a horror icon, but Skarsgård solidified himself as the definitive dancing clown. Just as Skarsgård wasn't the first actor to play Pennywise, Brian Cox portrayed Hannibal Lecter before Anthony Hopkins sank his teeth into the role.
Don't think you can persuade me with appeals to my intellectual vanity.
I don't think I'll persuade you at all. You'll either do it or you won't.
That said, Hopkins ate up the part, not even leaving a crumb behind. Hopkins balanced wit, sophistication, and terror as Hannibal the Cannibal, convincingly going from a well-spoken gentleman to an unhinged madman in an instant.
You fly back to school now, little starling. Fly.
Although Lecter isn't on screen for long, Hopkins casts a shadow that looms over every picture he's in. The shadow has extended to other portrayals of Lecter. While there have been worthy successors to the role, Hopkins' Oscar-winning performance remains the one to beat.
Yeah. That was good.
Both of these performances have already gone down as two of the scariest in cinema. However, Hopkins didn't just set a gold standard for Hannibal Lecter. He raised the bar for movie villains, and few, if any, have come close to leaving the same impact. Lecter takes this round for the win.
Well, let me know when those lambs stop screaming, won't you?
Winner, Hannibal Lecter. Do you think Pennywise could scar Hannibal Lecter or vice versa? Are you looking forward to seeing Skarsgård and Hopkins in Locked? Let us know in the comments.
Hello, Eddie. You're in my car.
This video is brought to you by Locked, starring Bill Skarsgård and Anthony Hopkins in the ultimate horror thriller. Only in theaters March 21st.